James and I knew the record we wanted to make before we went in there. Dance record that had sophistication, drama, femininity, sensuality. Like, we wanted all of that. Hi, Stefania.
Hola. Hi, Jessie.
Hola.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you on your nomination for the Brit Awards of this year.
Thank you.
How do you feel about that?
I feel really, I'm so excited. I'm so proud of what we did with the record, considering it was a funny time to bring a record out. And I'm so happy that we did bring it out and it touched so many people when we've all had a really strange year, hey? The Brit nomination was, I think, for me, as a woman in music, my fourth record, for it to be up for Best Album. It's incredibly lovely to be up for Best Female, but the Best Album category, you know, which is usually dominated by men, that was really important for me. It's just a nice nod and a celebration, and I think just being up for it amongst other women is really, really positive and amazing. So yeah.
Now, speaking of these nominations, one of them is in the category of Best Album of the Year for What's Your Pleasure, your fourth album that you released in June of last year. In this work, you returned to your musical beginnings and you had help of writers and producers such as James Ford, Joseph Mount of METRONOMY, Matthew Tavares at Newland, and many others. And musically, what was it like creating this album for you?
It was calm, it was kind, it was warm, it was exciting. It was probably the most comfortable I've ever felt in the studio. I really felt like I could not take risks, but push it. It's different to my last records. I think that that's probably a lot to do with the fact that I have a podcast called Table Manners, which had given me this confidence that had shown my personality a lot. And then I didn't feel like I had to hide behind this kind of wall of mystique and separation. I think actually it helped me connect with my fans far more doing a record like this. But yeah, making the record was brilliant. You know, I was pregnant for some of it, most of it. And then I had my, you know, I was going to, and then I had my baby. James lived very near where I lived. And so everything just felt very, it wasn't slow. It was just generous and understanding and relaxed. There was no kind of pressure. We were just in this bubble of making music that people could dance to. That was fun.
Talking about fun, What's Your Pleasure? It's an album that, with its sounds, does not allow sadness to enter in our lives. In an interview, I read that making happy music is one of the most difficult things for you to do as an artist. Could you tell us how you managed to make such a stable and joyful album?
So I've always thought it hasn't suited my voice, which I think maybe is a bit silly, and I probably should have been trying to make happy music. So I think the thing with the record is it's flirtatious, it's seductive, it's me playing a role, imagining scenarios and encounters and going into that fantasy world and really enjoying that. And it was really liberating for me. I realized that actually I could make a whole different kind of music that I thought that I wasn't allowed to make. It was a pressure I'd put on myself. But yeah, I kind of found out more about myself and my capabilities as an artist and a writer, making this record and kind of taking a few chances that I thought I couldn't before. Maybe that's from being a woman, 36, confident, empowered, feeling like I could do that, you know, fourth record. I think also this record had to bring a bit of lightness and happiness for me because I felt really low before the record. I felt so tired of the industry. I felt so disillusioned by it all. I felt exhausted. So I needed this record for me. I needed to make this music to pull me up.
In this deluxe edition of this record, you add 8 new songs. What was the reason you didn't include these songs in the original version of What's Your Pleasure, and what motivated you to publish them in the end?
So some of them hadn't been written yet, and some I just I didn't feel like they made sense with that group of songs. They stood out, but then when I listened to these ones together, they made more sense together. And yeah, they feel like a new era of What's Your Pleasure, which didn't work with the rest of the first slot. So for me, it's just like a new chapter. If I'm being honest, I guess they could have been on the first record. People had received What's Your Pleasure so well, and I had these other songs, and I listened back to them and I was like, these are really good. Like, they aren't going to go on my new record because it's a different vibe. I don't want to lose these, so I'm going to give them to people. And so I don't know, I think it kind of is the right way to have done it, but maybe I could have just made What's Your Pleasure much longer, I don't know. But I'm glad that I get another chance to kind of, you know, revive these songs that were never going to be heard, and that seemed wrong.
The album before this one is Lost House, which during the promotional tour led you to the point of wanting to give up on music. Do you remember what motivated you to continue with this dream that today has given you one of the most important albums of 2020?
I think it was me listening to myself and not listening to loads of other people that maybe don't always necessarily have your best interests, your artistic interests at heart. Separating myself from the industry, and me and James and my collection of people, like my friends, my trusted group, we just were. James and I knew the record we wanted to make before we went in there. There was no like, look, we didn't know which songs we were going to come out with, but we knew our aim was to make a modern dance record that had sophistication, drama, femininity, sensuality. Like, we wanted all of that. Mainly listening to myself and trusting my instincts.
In addition to being a career artist, you're also a mom and you have a successful podcast with your mother. How has it been for you to balance your professional and personal life in the recent years?
Actually, this year has been weirdly easier to balance it because I haven't been allowed to go anywhere. So I'm thankful for that. I still find it difficult to balance. I don't know if I always get it right. I don't know if I ever will get it perfectly right. I don't know whether I will just constantly feel guilty as a mother because that's how mothers feel, whether I was not working or working too much. So I try and get the balance. I have really amazing support. My husband is incredibly supportive and of my career, but the decisions I make, and we're a team. You know, I've got another one in my tummy. I'm starting to think, how will we do touring next year? Like with kids, my kids being in school. So, I mean, I'll work it out. I just will, because my priority is my family. But yeah, it's a constant juggle, and I constantly don't feel like I'm getting it right, but we try.
Okay, Jessie. Well, I think that's all for me. Thank you so much for your time and for answering my questions.
Gracias.
In Mexico.
I really want to come. Please, that's my plan, to come to Mexico. That would be amazing.
Hopefully. Thank you so much, Jessie.
Hasta luego. See you later. Bye. Bye.